Good morning. My name is Rick Whitten, and I proudly serve this congregation as Secretary of the Board of Trustees. Pursuant to our bylaws and with great pleasure, I announce that on Sunday next, January 24th at 11:30 a.m., the First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor will hold its annual winter meeting, virtually on Zoom. This will be our second... Kathy Edgren, co-chair of the Vision Steering Committee.
Hi, Rick.
What are you doing?
Make sure you let people know that there's going to be a report on the vision steering, on the vision work that we're doing. What's an update on the vision work that we have? We've learned a ton of stuff. We've developed a vision steering committee. We interviewed a lot of people. There are exciting things happening in each of the 3 priority areas. And there's so much to share with them. So make sure you mention that, and especially the story about the North Star.
Absolutely, Kathy. I'd be happy to let people know.
Mr.
We
Secretary.
will be... Eric Stolhansk, President of the Board of Trustees. What are you...
When you were given the update to the congregation, would you make sure that they know that Ed Lynn is going to let us know how the fundraising went for 2021 and give one of his stellar updates about our budget for this year? There was something else. Oh, yeah. And I will give some updates about board activities. Can you do that for us?
Yes, Eric. I would be happy to let people know that we will be having a big...
Mr. Secretary?
Tech guy? How did you get here?
You got to tell the people a few things about using Zoom.
I think they're pretty familiar.
Yeah, I know. But look, you got to tell them to register. It's very easy. They just go to the homepage of our website and click on the link to register for the meeting, and then fill out this form. First name, last name, email, all very straightforward.
Hey, what's that thing you did with the menu there?
Oh, that's where you sign up for Realm, but I'm sure you've already done that.
Realm?
What? All right, we'll get you signed up, because Realm is really cool. It's how we're going to communicate, and it's something really great that we're rolling out. Also, you can have up to 2 members on a single device. So if they've got a second member, they're going to want to put the second name in here so that we can count people for the quorum.
Now that's important.
Also, you want to let them know that they should upgrade their Zoom to the latest version.
Didn't we tell them last year?
Yeah, well, there's been a bunch of updates since then. Well, I think that's everything. You have a real good meeting. I'll be back here if you need anything.
Okay, thanks, tech guy. And thank you for your attention. I look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 11:30. Unless I'm hired by Colbert.
Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor, Michigan's virtual Sunday service. I'm the Reverend Manish Mishra-Marzetti, serving our community as senior minister. Our community, physically located in the city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, has been meeting continuously since 1865 in service to bringing alive Unitarian Universalism's commitment to an open, free, and responsible search for truth and meaning in each of our lives individually as well as together as a community, side by side, holding equally precious our long-standing commitment to the justice and dignity of each and every one of us. It's in that spirit that we gather this morning on Martin Luther King Day weekend, honoring the legacy of one of our greatest Black American civic, political, and spiritual leaders. Martin Luther King shared with us that the time is always right to do the right thing. And there was never a time in our history since the 1960s when we have more so needed to turn back to that wisdom grounded in a basic commitment to human goodness and dignity, the dream of human possibility and equality, true equality for each and every one of us. It's a dream that we continue to strive toward and struggle to live into as best as we can, knowing that we do so imperfectly, and yet our commitment to that dream does not waver. On this particular Sunday, we take time to honor the wisdom and beauty of the voices, the spirituality, the perspectives and experiences that Black American culture has given us, voices such as that of Martin Luther King Jr. As we now enter into a time of lighting our chalice together, signifying our gathering together as a community this morning, I'd invite you to take a moment, for those so inclined, to find your own chalice at home and take a moment to light it with me as we offer together the words that we are familiar with and frequently offer together when we are together in person in our community sanctuary. As we light our chalice this morning, would you join me in these words? We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the energy of action. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace. May it indeed be so. May we so gather. As we do so, we recognize that Unitarian Universalism is not a tradition bound together by creed. Rather, we are bound together, brought together by our commitment in community to one another, to care for one another, to live into our best selves together, to companion one another in our spiritual journeys with as loving, caring, and good a presence as we can. We bring this commitment alive through the words of covenant, a covenant with one another, a covenant together that is honored in community, through community, offered freely by one to another, to all. Would you join me in the words of our community's covenant? The spirit of this church is love, and service is its law. This is our covenant with each other, to dwell together in peace, to search for truth in love, and to help one another. May we so gather this Sunday in the spirit of community, deepening our time together as we prepare to honor the vision, dream, legacy, and spirit of Martin Luther King Jr., honoring the wisdom that has been passed on to us by ancestors and leaders from within the Black American tradition. Let our time together this morning continue and deepen.
Morally, I was led to nonviolence because I felt that it was the best moral way to deal with the problem. We were seeking to establish a just society. And it was my feeling then, and it is my feeling now, that violence is certainly much more socially destructive, and it creates many more social problems than it solves. So I was led to nonviolence for deep moral reasons. And I turned to it because I felt that it was the morally excellent way to deal with the problem of racial injustice in our country.
There is no freedom, the wise men said, let justice roll down when the poor cry out for shelter and bread. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Hatred will never drive out hate. Let love roll down, roll down. Remember, our hearts can make us great. Let love roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. And let your love roll down like a mighty stream. When brutality threatens our daughters and sons, let peace roll down, roll down. May our voices rise up louder than the guns. Let peace roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. And let peace roll down like a mighty stream. Step by step, one by one, let justice roll down, roll down. They can kill the prophet, but the dream lives on. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Justice roll down like a mighty stream.
I turned to it because I felt that it was the morally excellent way to deal with the problem of racial injustice in our country.
My name's Sandy Isle, and I'm the coordinator for our UUAA Alpha House Committee. It's truly my pleasure to serve this congregation because of our cheerful and committed volunteers. For over 25 years, Interfaith Hospitality Network, IHN, at Alpha House has partnered with the community to shelter and support children and their families who are experiencing homelessness in our community. UUAA is one of the founding congregations of IHN, which we formed together as a community response to family homelessness. Our congregation hosts at Alpha House for 4 weeks each year. During our host week, we provide a hot meal each night for up to 25 people. We cook a hot breakfast on weekends and supervise children's activity time when it's safe to do so. In November, we always provide a special meal for anyone at the shelter on Thanksgiving Day. Today, I want to say thank you to all of our volunteers. This year, in the middle of a global pandemic, over 100 of you stepped up to fill 420 unique needs in our sign-up. We even took on a special week in September, in addition to what we usually do. If you made a main dish or a side dish, thank you. If you bought a bottle of juice or 6 pizzas, thank you. If you donated $5 or $50, you helped us to not only purchase the groceries we needed, you supported the local restaurants we bought meals from, and you allowed us to provide a script card to families moving out so that they could have a hot meal on their first night in their new housing. It's a blessing to me seeing your names roll in to my email box on the first day or the last day of our volunteer recruitment. So thank you.
We march. a story by Shane W. Evans. The morning is quiet, and we prepare to march. We pray for strength. We work together. We come from all over to march. We follow our leaders. We walk together. We sing. We are hot and tired, but we are filled with hope. We lean on each other. As we march to justice, to freedom. As we march to our dreams.
When we experience tragedy and trauma, we often hold our emotions in our physical bodies. So one of the most important ways that we can process and begin to heal is through movement. I think that's why dance can be so powerful, both to engage in and to watch. After the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the choreographer and ballet dancer Arthur Mitchell transformed his pain into the creation of the Dance Theater of Harlem, a groundbreaking company and school devoted to supporting dancers of color. One of the principal dancers, Marcellus Harper, then went on to create the Memphis-based Collage Dance Collective with Kevin Thomas. They are continuing on Mitchell's mission by showcasing Black dancers and choreographers. In 2019, Collage Dance Collective released this short film called Rebirth to commemorate the 51st anniversary of Dr. King's assassination. It was shot at the Claiborne Temple, which is where Dr. King led one of his final marches for economic justice. As the collage staff explained, they created this piece to, quote, represent the power of the arts to turn poison into medicine. May it be a source of healing for us all.
Comme le froid est éloigné, déchiré par le baiser du vent, la terre se prépare dès lors pour un nouvel âge de vie.
No longer phantoms roaming hallways of old and pages of our history books.
Mais, enracinés et ancrés, nous exhortons ce sentiment de grâce et d'amour.
To all who've suffered at the hands of our brothers and sisters.
Car nous sommes tous cousus semblables et nous sommes tous dans le même bateau. Lavez votre corps hiverné.
Shake death from your bones.
Il y a un vent nouveau.
Feel it put motion to your branches.
Floresça com contágio incomparável, que deixe a humanidade sem outra escolha senão se renascer.
Dance when you're broken open.
Quand vous êtes pleinement libre.
Dance to our rebirth.
As we continue honoring wisdom, voices, and experiences from the Black American tradition, it was this week in 1993 when a young 21-year-old version of myself stood in the frigid winter Washington, D.C. air as President Bill Clinton was inaugurated. It was the privilege of being there in person, the excitement of that turning of season, a new civic and political season emerging, that I had the distinct honor of witnessing and being present to Maya Angelou, offering the words of the poem that she penned specially for that occasion, that historic moment and all that it represented. I'd like to share with you the words of Maya Angelou on the pulse of the morning. A rock, a river, a tree, hosts to species long since departed, marked the mastodon, the dinosaur, who left dry tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, the rock cries out to us clearly, forcefully, "Come, you may stand on my back and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no more hiding place down here. You, created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance. Your mouths spilling words armed for slaughter. The rock cries out today, you may stand on me, but do not hide your face. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. Come rest here by my side. Each of you, a bordered country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thrusting perpetually under the siege. Your armed struggles for profit have left collars of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast. Yet today I call you to my riverside. If you will study war no more, come. Clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the stone were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet knew, you still knew nothing. The river sings on and on. There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheikh, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They hear, they all hear the speaking of the tree. Today, the first and last of every tree speaks to humankind. Come to me, here beside the river. Plant yourself beside me, here beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed on traveler, has been paid for. You, who gave me my first name, you, Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you, Cherokee Nation, who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the employment of others, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Swede, the German, the Scot, you, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Kru, bought, sold, stolen, arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourself beside me. I am the tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. I, the rock, I, the river, I, the tree. I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, and if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon the day breaking before you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands. Mold it into the shape of your most private need. Sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here, on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country. No less to Midas than the mendicant, no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your siblings' eyes, into your brother and sister's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning. I invite you now, if you would, join me in a moment of silent reflection as we hold the words of Maya Angelou in our hearts and in shared reflection. Would you join me now? May we each continue to hold in honor the words of Maya Angelou, offered at a time of national change and turning, similar, perhaps not as intense, but similar to the change that we are looking ahead to, and the sense of possibility that many of us are holding, that what lies ahead can be, hopefully may be, different, better than some of the days we are now leaving behind. Dr. Angelou, at such a moment, at such a historic moment in the life of our nation, invited us to remember that the stone, the river, and the tree are our relations, our siblings on this planet, that we are connected to, that speak to us if we but listen, siblings that embody wisdom. The solidity of the stone, the surety, the solidness of it. For me, a reminder that when so much can feel uncertain, untethered, that the solid ground beneath us, the stone, which indigenous traditions refer at times to as grandparents, the earth as a whole, grandmother, the most ancient stones thereof, grandfather. The stones, the earth, support us and hold us, just as they have supported and held life on this planet since before there were Homo sapiens. There is a surety, a solidity to that. We, in this time of pandemic, instinctively knowing that nature of which we are integrally a part holds wisdom and grounding, seeking and finding time out in nature as a way to reconnect with these things that we are in relationship with and that speak to us, the stones reminding us that we are never untethered from the groundedness of the planet of which we are a part. There is solidity beneath our feet if we but look toward it, seek to be in relationship with it, allow its wisdom to comfort us and remind us of connectedness. The river, coursing the landscape, shifting and turning with its shores, reminding us that all is in motion, even while we are a part of that which is solid and sure. The course of life always has twists and turns. We are forever and continuously confronted with the spiritual question: do we fight the tide of human growth and transformation, swimming against a current that if we fight long enough and hard enough against, will pull us under, exhaust us, drown us? Or do we flow with nature? Do we flow with the course of the river, the wisdom of the river, allowing it to gently guide us, carry us towards the shores that are yet to be explored? The spiritual, emotional, human frontiers still being developed and arrived upon. Such is the wisdom of the river, always available to us, even as we have sought as human beings to exploit and control, dam up, wall up, change the course of rivers. And yet the essential nature, the essence of a river, we know what that is. The sense of flow, seamlessly part of the landscape. The tree, the wisdom of the tree reaching up beyond the landscape towards the heights, towards all that transcends the ground below. And even as it reaches up and beyond, it reaches down below, deep below. Science teaching us, helping us learn that the roots of the tree contain neurons, are in fact its source of wisdom and knowing, providing the tree with information that guides it, that helps it arrive at decisions that it must make around growth and being, reaching up and reaching down below, both at the same time, embodying the wisdom of being still and rooted, not flailing about in fear or anxiety, understanding that the wisdom we need is available to us now if we reach both up beyond ourselves and down below to the deepest cores of being, both at the same time. The metaphors of Dr. Angelou, not accidental, deeply provocative, reminding us, especially in this pandemic era, of what we have been seeking in those long walks and hikes, those play dates out in the natural landscape, the intuition and wisdom within us, pushing us and guiding us towards those connections that hold truths that we need. Do not hide, says the rock. And I would add, in a time when so much feels uncertain, provokes and pushes us to fear, do not be afraid. For when we are in the space of fear, the terrorists win. Those who seek to perpetuate and bring alive terror win, because they know that if they push us from our ground of being, that we will be as ungrounded as they are. And so in this week of change, transformation, possibility that many of us have been yearning for, carry with you the wisdom of the rock, the wisdom of the river, and the wisdom of the tree. Dr. Angelou's wisdom offered in 1993 in this same week, still relevant for us now, today.
Here's a prayer. God, essence of being, living, move us to move the world along an axis of peace. Move us to move injustice from our centers. Keep us from keeping love from living even in our longest grudges. Keep us from keeping more potential than power. Help us to bend the moral arc to justice and our own living to streams of love, and breathe in us a gratitude for the gentle coming of these next moments, and inspire the possibility of the moments about to dawn to keep the rhythm of our hearts. Amen. As always, I invite you to lend a hand in keeping our community in motion. Give to our community at uuaa.org/giving. And I hope you'll join us for social hour and conversation right after this. May you be filled with loving kindness, and with the same, may you also fill each thing you encounter. May you be well, and may you be of good to the beauty of the earth. May you be whole, and may you bring wholeness, for you are already born enough. Go in peace, dear ones. Amen and amen.